Well, welcome back into another episode of the Practice Peak as we come to you from a new location, the Marching Virginian Center, or maybe more affectionately known by some Hokies fans as Chicken Hill. But Coach Pride threw everyone a little bit of a curveball today as the team wrapped up their fourth full three-day minicamp and brought the full squad up here to play on the turf and sort of get acclimated to that impending Week 1 matchup against Vanderbilt. So they measured that the temperature here on the turf was 9 to 10 degrees hotter than what it would have been at their normal practice field at the Beamer Lawson facility. So it's definitely a cognizant move by the staff to kind of prepare not only in the film room and off the field, but also physically on the turf as they inch closer to Week 1. Now, another thing of note from today is I've been covering this program over the last couple seasons, and it is, to my memory, is the most NFL scouts I've ever seen on a practice sideline, which is a positive sign for not only all the talent that's coming back, but the younger guys and the trajectory of this program. So definitely a great sign to see that amount of NFL scouts, but definitely something of note today. And we're getting into the older guys, but definitely starting up front in the trenches, some younger guys that stood out. Interesting offensive line lineup was you had Laith Ganem working at left guard, Braylon Moore working at center, and then Caden Moore, where he's obviously played before, but was at right guard. So Coach Fry, after in the post-practice media session, said that Braylon Moore is in fact the backup center, but it was an interesting look to see as there's been some smoke around Laith Ganem really making some great strides at that left guard position, and Coach Fry echoed that and how he's a true swing guy, and he's had a great spring.
Yeah, I think we're still exploring some options. We're still in a mini camp that allows us to do that. Lace, we've been talking about him. He's been getting better and better. He had a setback with a minor injury. He missed a couple days, or we would have done it sooner.
Now, along with that offensive line position battle, Coach Fry also kind of touched on the linebacker rotation and also safety position in the post-practice media availability.
Yeah, I mean, it's challenging. I mean, from Kelly to J.K. to Sam to J-Mac had a good day today, I thought. Caleb Woodson's playing in there. It's a good problem to have. I mean, it's a competitive group, and they all want to roll out there in the first group, but they also know that at least four of those guys are going to play a ton of football. Yeah, I think you're talking about the top four right there. With Stroh and Mose and Jay Jones and what the young guy Quentin Reddish is doing. They got to keep coming. Jalen Jones has made some big improvements. He's always been a really good cover guy, but he's tackling better. He's also learned nickel, and he's also learned corner. He's the one guy on the defense. He's got 3 spots right now he can line up at.
Now, outside of those position battles, it was the usual suspects that you would expect that had good days. Ollie Jennings was out there looking good. Steven Gosnell, even though he's still in blue limited contact jersey, he was leading drills, looked great. Young guy out there, Brody Adams, working at the Z, had a great practice. Benji Gosnell had another great day. Daquan Felton, so definitely liking what you're seeing out of the receivers. Malachi Thomas, Bashal Tootin catching pitches each way. Bashal Tootin had a good run on an inside drill. So definitely liking what you're seeing out of the returning production on offense. And on defense, Aeneas Peebles, we haven't seen him really live action, but he looked great over there. Kamari Copeland had a good day. So definitely like what you're seeing over there. Mansour Delane, Dorian Strong had good days as well. But pushing back up to that linebacker position, we got to talk with Kelly Lawson after practice, and he talked about how he's been cross-training and how he's really just a ball player at the end of the day.
I consider myself a defensive player. Like wherever Coach Pride could tell me line up at corner, I'll go do it. But I've been working a little bit of both, in all honesty. So I'm not really limited to one position.
We saw you a little bit of star out there today. What do you think of that position? Is that something you've done in the past at all? What are the challenges there?
Yes, sir. I've had minor experience. I think it was my when I initially transitioned to defense. That's where I started off at. But I'm more so been immersed into that star role. So it's I really have a good grasp of both Star and Wilson.
Now, along with Kelly Lawson in that linebacker room where they've been cross-training, we talked to Sam Brumfield, who especially been working at Mike, and the more comfortable and confident he gets, he just feels like he's got a lot of momentum heading into the season.
Absolutely. I was talking to someone about this the other day. I feel so much more comfortable, like the game has slowed down so much for me. And I just feel like I'm able to play even faster. And I know what's going on around me, and that's been the biggest thing for me. I've had a good summer camp, and it's been really, really fun for me.
Is that a realization you came to over the summer, this August? When did that kind of hit you? Man, this is just feeling better.
Honestly, I would say after the spring, after the coaches told me how I did, and I looked at the film. I thought I did bad, but just looking at the film, it wasn't that bad. It was more so of just knowing what to do and just being comfortable and trusting myself.
Now, we also got to catch up with newly elevated associate linebacker coach Xavier Adibian. One soundbite that stuck out with me from the spring was when Brent Pry sat down with Josh Payton. He mentioned that the position group with the most accountability points at the end of spring would earn a piece of merch that said, "You can count on me." And I saw Coach Adibi rocking it, and I asked him, and he really leaned into the fact about how important it is for him and Coach Marv to not only lead these men on the field, but off the field.
Absolutely. I mean, it's amazing. You know, it's amazing seeing the development of, you know, the young guys and how they step up in a leadership role. And just seeing them develop as the years prolong and as the years go on. I mean, that's the reason why I started coaching, you know, just so I can, you know, instill certain things in these kids, you know, certain lessons and certain mistakes that I made, just so they won't make the same mistakes that I made, if that makes sense.
Well, that pretty much wraps up a sort of wacky, out of the usual day, but I think it was a nice change of pace for the team and also the media. So we'll have another availability coming to you Friday from practice, so make sure to stay tuned into vtscoop.com throughout all of fall camp as we get closer to week 1 against Vanderbilt. So make sure to stay tuned in there. I'm Kolby Crawford signing out for the Practice Peak. We'll catch you next time.